Chapter 16. Danger escalates. Li Qingshan stared out the window, his brow furrowed in concern. An unsettling sense of danger had settled in his heart, elusive in its source, ever since moments ago. Maybe it's an ability of a professional. They're likely looking for a place to hide. But turning into skeletons, that's just too tragic. After a moment of thought and still finding no clues, Li Qingshan hastily concluded this. Liang Chao responded with an, "Oh," then suddenly recalled something. The direction they're heading, it looks like they're going to the convenience store. Are they after food? Li Qingshan glanced back at him, calmly asking a question that left Liang Chao speechless. Skeletons don't need to worry about being bitten by zombies, but can you say the same? Liang Chao deflated instantly. He had just eaten several slices of bread, yet it hadn't helped much. In fact, his hunger seemed to intensify. To make matters worse, he was extremely thirsty, with no drinking water in sight. Li Qingshan regarded him and said, "Go to the bathroom and fill up some water from the tap. Have that fire elementalist boil it. We'll figure out the rest once today's newbie task is completed." Though he yearned to explore outside, Li Qingshan knew the zombies would attack from all sides. A human body couldn't withstand such a siege, and even if it could, the overwhelming fear would eventually erode one's sanity. Liang Chao pulled out his phone to check the time, 4:30 in the afternoon. He attempted to connect to the internet, send messages, and make calls, but everything failed. It seemed that the moment the game began, all contact with the outside world was severed. Suddenly feeling down, he turned to Li Qingshan. "Do you think the whole world's become like this? What about my parents?" After all, Liang Chao was just a college student in his 20s. But Li Qingshan merely sneered, a cold smile curling his lips. "Most likely, yes. The whole world is like this now. But so what? Compared to the old world, filled with rules and restrictions, I prefer this one." Liang Chao was taken aback by Li Qingshan's words. "But aren't you worried your parents are in danger?" "Worried? They deserve it. They couldn't even live their own lives well, and they still had me. If it weren't for this game, I'd be doomed to repeat their failures." Li Qingshan clenched his hands, a faint black mist swirling into two large hands as his smile widened. "It's better if they're dead." The 5 skeletons took about 10 minutes to reach the small convenience store. Along the way, they acted like emotionless killing machines, smashing the heads of any zombies they encountered. They even fought off a few bulky ones, and by the end, each skeleton was equipped with a shield and a wooden club, transforming into true warriors. Their combat power had risen to 32 points each. After clearing the area outside the store, the skeletons rushed inside. The convenience store bore signs of previous zombie damage but remained mostly intact, with no one else in sight. With more zombies closing in from outside, Jiyu Qinghan swiftly commanded the skeletons to scavenge supplies. 2 skeletons stood guard at the door, while the other 2 grabbed large backpacks from inside the store. The last skeleton, moving with surprising agility, tossed high-calorie food into the bags. After filling 2 large backpacks, Jiyu Qinghan ordered the skeletons to gather more. Just as they were about to fill a 3rd bag, a faint light flickered behind one of the shelves. Upon closer inspection, he discovered a wooden box glowing softly with white light. A treasure chest. The box was about the size of a microwave, but Jiyu Qinghan's skeletons couldn't examine it further. No matter, he had the skeleton pick it up. After packing a bag of water, they set off to return. Though Jiyu Qinghan wanted to linger, fatigue washed over him, akin to the exhaustion that follows long hours of study or work. It seemed his abilities weren't unlimited after all. The return journey was slower, as the 3 skeletons carried the supplies. Fortunately, their combat strength was impressive, and despite some difficulties, they managed to bring the loot back safely. However, Jiyu Qinghan intentionally took a detour on the way back. He suspected that the classrooms above might have noticed the skeletons, and he didn't want Li Qingshan downstairs to see them. If Li Qingshan got involved, things could quickly become complicated. Once the skeletons returned, Jiyu Qinghan stored them, along with the supplies and treasure chest, inside his necromancer space. He then released the skeletons again, and they stood guard around him like loyal soldiers. Afterward, Jiyu Qinghan casually pulled out a few self-heating hot pots and bottles of water. "Everyone, eat something. I'm going to take a rest." Exhausted, he shared the food with Tian Tian and the others before collapsing onto the table, quickly falling asleep. The 7 skeletons maintained a tight guard around him, ensuring nothing would disturb his rest. When he finally woke, darkness enveloped the world outside. Checking his phone, he noted it was past 10 p.m. In the classroom, Dao Yu slept soundly at his desk, softly snoring. The day's events had drained everyone's physical and mental stamina. However, Tian Tian stared out the window, lost in thought. Ji Yu Qinghan rubbed his face, breaking the silence and catching her attention. "You're awake. Look, the zombies downstairs are acting differently." Ji Yu Qinghan approached and noticed Tian Tian's eyes were red and swollen, as if she had been crying. "What's wrong?" he asked gently. "Nothing, I just felt homesick earlier. But look at the zombies, they're more aggressive now than they were during the day." Tian Tian smiled, attempting to mask her vulnerability. In just half a day, the spoiled rich girl seemed to have matured into a sensible young woman. Ji Yu Qinghan didn't press further and glanced out the window. The zombies below remained numerous, but they moved with greater speed than before. Focusing on one of them, he soon got its stats. Agile Zombie, Level 2 Combat Power, 15 points. Chapter 17, Completion of the Novice Task. He stood momentarily stunned as he glanced around at the zombies. To his surprise, all the zombies had transformed into Level 2 Agile Zombies. Level 1 Sluggish Zombies had a combat power of only 6 points, while Level 2 Agile Zombies boasted more than double that. Fortunately, I cleared all the zombies on this floor during the day and sealed the crack. Otherwise, I would have definitely died here at night. A wave of fear washed over Ji Yu Qinghan. The danger posed by a group of Level 1 zombies was nothing compared to that of Level 2 zombies. Even Level 2 skeletons, when equipped with weapons, had a combat power of only 12 points. In a one-on-one situation, they might not even win against a Level 2 zombie. But luckily, he had now reached Level 5. Watching the clearly agitated zombies below, Tian Tian expressed her concern. "While you were sleeping, I heard a lot of screams coming from the nearby teaching buildings. Some people even jumped down from the upper floors. Clearly, these were individuals who had tried to hide during the day without leveling up, only to be found by the suddenly upgraded zombies." Ji Yu Qinghan felt no pity for these people and simply asked if anything else had happened while he was asleep. "No, just the zombies leveling up." With Tian Tian's response, Ji Yu Qinghan formed a plan. He didn't turn on the lights immediately, instead, he released a few skeletons from the windowsill. After an afternoon of fighting, he had gained a deeper understanding of his abilities. He could summon skeletons and their weapons within a radius of about 10 meters, meaning he could easily release skeletons from the 3rd floor window down to the ground. As 5 skeletons appeared, the Level 2 zombies outside immediately charged at them. These zombies were much faster than during the day, but the 5 skeletons worked well together to fend them off. Confirming that his skeletons could handle the battle below, Ji Yu Qinghan felt assured and allowed them to level up slowly. He kept 2 skeletons by his side to guard him, even though it slowed down the fighting. Ji Yu Qinghan took out a self-heating beef hot pot, added some mineral water, and quietly waited. Tian Tian glanced at him, sat beside him, and asked softly, "After we complete the novice task, where will you go?" Ji Yu Qinghan paused, realizing he truly didn't know where to go. He shook his head and replied honestly, "I don't know either. I'll take it step by step and first settle some personal grudges." Tian Tian acknowledged this softly and then looked up to ask, "I want to go back to my dorm to find my roommate. We both live in the same neighborhood, and if she's still alive, we'll probably go home together. Yeah, it's good to have someone to worry about. Stay safe." Ji Yu Qinghan nodded. Although Tian Tian had left a poor impression on him at first, she had changed quickly. Her decisive choice to break through alongside him during the previous battle proved that this seemingly fragile girl possessed her own strength and courage. Tian Tian agreed and suddenly leaned on Ji Yu Qinghan's shoulder. "Don't move, let me lean for a moment. We'll have to part ways tomorrow." Hearing her slightly pleading voice, Ji Yu Qinghan stiffened for a moment but didn't pull away his arm. After a brief silence, unable to endure the awkward atmosphere any longer, he spoke up, "Why don't you ask if I'll go with you?" Tian Tian looked up, her eyes shining with hope. "Really? You'd be willing to go home with me? Don't you want to see your family?" Ji Yu Qinghan laughed heartily, seizing the moment to pull his arm back. Not really. My parents died in a car accident when I was a child, and my relatives treat me like a jinx. I have no ties. Tian shot him a glance of disdain before gasping, clearly taken aback by Ji Yu Qinghan's situation. I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's fine. I've lived well all these years. It's time to eat. Ji Yu Qinghan opened the lid, and a fragrant aroma wafted up. He also pulled out a can of luncheon meat and instant noodles, not bothering to hide the fact that he had storage space. After all, the world had become game-like, and it was likely that storage space items would appear later. Watching Ji Yu Qinghan enjoy his hot pot amidst the rising steam, Tian suddenly whispered, I wish we had met earlier. What? Ji Yu Qinghan looked up, chewing on a wide noodle. Nothing. I just meant you should eat more, we'll need to be strong tomorrow. She flashed a sweet smile and walked to the window, looking outside. 3 seconds later, an arcane ball struck a distant zombie. Ji Yu Qinghan was taken aback. Earlier, he had seen many zombie corpses outside and thought they had been killed by nearby survivors. But now it seemed Tian had been leveling up while he was asleep. Time ticked by, and eventually, Dao Yu also woke up and greeted Ji Yu Qinghan. He looked at Tian, who was killing zombies, with envy but felt troubled that his skills couldn't be leveled up at a distance. As midnight struck, the entire world suddenly seemed to freeze for a moment. Then, everyone heard a familiar voice in their minds. Congratulations to everyone for completing the novice task, rewards will be distributed, random talent. The game is about to officially begin. In the past 12 hours, a total of 29 brave and powerful players around the world have additionally completed the novice trial and received corresponding rewards. Newbies, enjoy the game. Ji Yu Qinghan pursed his lips, surprised to learn that 28 other players had also passed the novice trial. Immediately after, he felt a massive spinning wheel appear in his mental space. The wheel was divided into countless sections and began to spin slowly as he watched. As it reached a certain speed, the wheel gradually began to slow down. Ji Yu Qinghan focused intently on the areas the pointer passed over, noting a few large sections with labels. Super strength, rapid recovery, quick casting. Names flashed by until the wheel almost stopped, landing on a talent called focus. Just as the wheel was about to come to a stop, an invisible force emanated from his mental space. The already stopped wheel suddenly began to rotate again. Ji Yu Qinghan was taken aback, that force just now. The effect of the pioneer skill. Pioneer, the brave enjoy the world first. Players with this skill are more likely to obtain higher level rewards. The wheel gradually came to a stop again, appearing to hover over a very narrow but definitely existing area. This section was quite inconspicuous. If Ji Yu Qinghan hadn't been watching closely, he might have mistaken it for a dividing line. Although he couldn't see the text clearly, Ji Yu Qinghan knew one thing. On the wheel, the bigger the prize, the smaller the area it occupied. Yet fate seemed to enjoy playing tricks on Ji Yu Qinghan. Just as the pointer was about to leave that area, the wheel continued to spin. Ji Yu Qinghan felt anxious for the first time. He was so close. Just a little more, and he could win that grand prize. If only he could grab the wheel right now. Just then, the wheel suddenly stopped, and the pointer landed in that area where the text was unclear. Damn! Ji Yu Qinghan nearly shouted. Those few seconds felt like he had stopped breathing. However, unseen to him, behind the wheel, a giant, menacing skeletal claw gripped it tightly. Chapter 18. The Mimic Talent. Congratulations on acquiring the unique talent, Mimic. Mimic can slowly gather characteristics of a certain profession. Once collected, the current characteristics of that profession can be obtained and granted to other units. Current number of professions to mimic, 1. Beneath this talent was an empty progress bar. Ji Yu Qinghan was momentarily stunned, then gasped in surprise. This talent seems a bit overpowered. Especially the part about granting abilities to other units. Could his skeleton minions be considered other units? His heart raced as he realized he might not only create an undead army but possibly one with various professions. At that moment, Tian and Dao Yu, who had also been stunned, snapped back to reality, their eyes reflecting different emotions. Tian looked at Ji Yu Qinghan with a grin and said, "Guess what talent I got?" Just as Ji Qinghan was about to respond, Tian Tian cheerfully exclaimed. Rapid casting. I don't need to charge my skills as long. With that, she ran to the window and tossed an arcane ball out. Ji Qinghan was left speechless. An arcane ball that used to take 3 seconds to charge could now be launched instantly. Tian Tian then asked Ji Qinghan about his talent, but he turned his gaze toward Dao Yu. Dao Yu, excitement flickering on his face, said, My talent is resourceful. As long as my skills aren't interrupted, they'll slowly repair themselves. He called the others to the window and placed a shield on one of the skeletons below. Suddenly, a zombie lunged at the skeleton but crashed into the shield without inflicting any damage. The skeleton quickly dispatched the zombie, and the slightly cracked shield began to visibly repair itself. After enduring 3 more attacks, the shield finally shattered. Ji Qinghan nodded. Dao Yu had reached level 3 in the afternoon, but his shield could only withstand 3 attacks from a normal zombie. Yet they all witnessed that the stronger zombie attacked 4 times before breaking the shield. This meant that Dao Yu's protective capabilities in battle would be much more impressive moving forward. At that moment, both turned to Ji Qinghan and asked, What's your talent? Ji Qinghan hesitated but chose not to reveal his mimic talent. Although he hadn't used it yet, he sensed its terrifying potential. Just moments ago, while the two had used their skills, he received 2 notifications. Do you want to start gathering characteristics of the arcane mage profession? Do you want to start gathering characteristics of the guardian knight profession? After pondering, he replied, My talent allows my skeletons to evolve certain abilities, but I can't see the effects yet. That's a growth talent. It sounds even stronger than ours. Tian Tian beamed with delight for Ji Qinghan, and Dao Yu nodded vigorously. Clearly, the two were naive and didn't suspect Ji Qinghan was hiding the truth. Ji Qinghan felt a twinge of guilt and reminded them, You two should be careful not to disclose your talents, others might gain too much information. Not everyone is kind. The two were taken aback but nodded thoughtfully. Ji Qinghan didn't gather the characteristics of their professions mainly because their professions were rare. While he didn't know the exact tier of his special profession, it seemed much more powerful than theirs. He was looking to gather characteristics from formidable professions. However, it seems the gathering process needs to be done near the professional, right? Ji Qinghan thought, realizing he needed to pay attention to stronger professionals in the future. At that moment, Tian Tian spoke again. My panel has some new attributes, do you have any? Ji Qinghan looked at his panel and saw some changes. Player, Ji Qinghan. Profession, Necromancer. Level, 5. Health, 20. Magic, 100. Combat power, 25 plus 10. Skills, Pioneer, Deathly Summon, Necromancer's Space, Spectre's Vision. Talent, Mimic. Equipment, Apprentice's Staff. Mimic, can slowly gather characteristics of a certain profession. Once collected, the complete characteristics of that profession can be obtained and granted to other units. Current number of professions to mimic, 1. Pioneer, the brave enjoy the world first. Players with this skill are more likely to receive higher level rewards. Deathly Summon, consumes 20 magic points to summon your most loyal servant for battle. The servant's attributes are the same as the necromancer's. Current maximum summonable number, 5 plus 2. Necromancer's Space, no cost, can store your servants, no other creatures can survive within. Spectre's Vision, consumes 2 magic points per minute. The power of death brings joy to your subjects, allowing you to gain the vision of any subject. His panel had added health and magic points, and the active skills now included descriptions of their consumption. Dao Yu murmured, It's really starting to feel like a game. I have 100 health points and 20 magic points. Tian Tian raised her hand. I have 30 health points and 50 magic points. Ji Qinghan glanced at the two of them revealing their stats and chose not to engage. He analyzed the information he had just received. It looks like this game has officially started. Each profession has different attributes, but my health points are so low. Compared to the other two, he felt like a fragile college student. He looked at his own body, then at Dao Yu, who was even skinnier than he was, and silently contemplated. Magic points are easy to understand. My dizziness before must have been due to running out of magic. But what about health points? Does running out mean instant death? He suddenly recalled the enormous power of the arcane ball Tien Tien had thrown. A normal person wouldn't withstand even one. Could health points be understood as a special energy that protects players from dying? If it runs out, any attacks would directly affect their body. Ji Yu Qinghan felt this deduction, if not completely accurate, was quite close to the truth. Just then, he suddenly heard a familiar sound of chains outside. He had heard it during the novice trial. Looking outside, he spotted a tyrant zombie among the horde, illuminated by the bright moonlight. His pupils narrowed. It seemed this game had finally entered its proper phase. Chapter 19. Big breasts, no brains. The tyrant zombie was wandering a distance away, completely oblivious to the battle occurring below where Ji Yu Qinghan was. However, thanks to his new class as a necromancer, he could hear the noises from that direction. He sensed that some of his abilities had significantly improved. Let's avoid provoking the tyrant zombie for now, especially with so many other zombies around, Ji Yu Qinghan thought. Previously, he had managed to defeat 10 tyrant zombies by overwhelming them in a group. But in this situation, if the tyrant zombie joined the fight, it would undoubtedly target his skeletons. At that moment, Tien Tien also spotted the tyrant zombie, her eyes widening in shock. What is that? A new type of zombie? Yeah, let's not worry about it for now. We'll deal with it in the daylight tomorrow, he replied. He called back his skeletons to guard the classroom, then took out a bottle of mineral water, washed up a bit, and handed a bottle to each of the others. Let's get some sleep. It's not a good time to level up. We don't want to attract any dangerous creatures, Ji Yu Qinghan advised. He closed the curtains and laid down on a few desks pushed together. The classroom was dark, illuminated only by the flickering green flames in the eye sockets of 7 skeletons, creating a quiet yet eerie atmosphere. Early the next morning, Ji Yu Qinghan woke up early. Although he had slept through the night, the hard desks left him feeling sore all over. It's time to leave this place and find a safe house where I can at least sleep comfortably, he thought. With his ability to use undead vision, he could accomplish many tasks without leaving a safe spot. Tien Tien and the other person were still asleep on their desks. Despite their frightening appearance, Ji Yu Qinghan's skeletons provided a sense of security for the two. Unbeknownst to them, the skeletons were not just for defense against external threats. If either of them posed a risk to Ji Yu Qinghan, the 7 skeletons would swiftly eliminate them. Oh right, I think I got a chest yesterday, Ji Yu Qinghan suddenly remembered, quickly retrieving the glowing white wooden chest from his necromancer space. Would you like to open the ordinary treasure chest? Without hesitation, Ji Yu Qinghan chose to open it. As the chest opened automatically, a faint white light emerged before slowly fading away. Finally, the chest disappeared from his hands, pausing momentarily before revealing its contents. In that moment, Ji Yu Qinghan felt a surge of energy pulse through him. The effect of the pioneer skill was activating. The light in his hands gradually dispersed, revealing a pitch-black ring, an item of equipment. Ring of Contemplation, Level 3. Effect: stores excess mana, up to a maximum of 50 points. Ji Yu Qinghan raised an eyebrow and immediately put the ring on his finger. This piece of equipment didn't enhance combat power, but it was quite beneficial for him. The extra mana storage would allow him to use undead vision for nearly half an hour longer or to summon undead 2 additional times. Having completed this, Ji Yu Qinghan began to ponder where he should go next. He wasn't very familiar with the school. After all, he was only in his 2nd year and hadn't explored much. Moreover, the school was vast. The teaching building he was in was only part of Zone B, comparable to a large commercial area. However, students referred to Zone B as the slum of the school because the buildings and facilities were relatively simple, and aside from attending classes, few people would come here to hang out. Going outside might be more dangerous. I should first strengthen myself within the school, then venture out later, Ji Yu Qinghan decided, glancing at the floor. His vision seemed to penetrate the floor, spotting Li Qingshan below. He heard footsteps approaching from the hallway and immediately understood that survivors from upstairs were coming down. He looked at his nearby skeletons and withdrew 4 of them, leaving 3 to guard him. While Tien Tien and the other person knew he had 7 skeletons, the newcomers were unaware. Keeping a backup was the first lesson Ji Yu Qinghan had learned from living on his own for nearly a decade. Hello, what happened to the zombies on this floor? A voluptuous and beautiful figure appeared at the doorway. Upon seeing the situation inside, she couldn't help but ask. Ji Qinghan glanced over and recognized her as the previous teacher, Han Jingjing. "We've killed them all," he replied curtly, not wanting to explain further. Although Han Jingjing had anticipated this, hearing it directly from Ji Qinghan still left her in disbelief. She looked around at the clean floor, incredulous. So many zombies, what happened to their bodies? They were taken away by a crack, Ji Qinghan responded. He hadn't intended to engage with her, but he thought she might know some things he was unaware of, so he became curious. He jumped down from the desk and approached Han Jingjing, asking, "Teacher, may I ask you a question?" Han Jingjing took 2 steps back, looking at Ji Qinghan with a hint of fear in her eyes, a natural fear of the strong. They had been trapped upstairs, waiting for an opportunity, while these 3 had eliminated all the zombies. "Why yes, what do you want to ask?" she stammered. "Where in the school is a safe place to stay?" he asked, needing a secure spot for his future plans. Han Jingjing furrowed her brow and thought for a few seconds before replying, "Safe places. Are there any safe places right now?" "Just any location that seemed safe before this game started," Ji Qinghan smiled, sensing a potential lead from her expression. After hesitating, Han Jingjing said, "Actually, the facilities in the school are all quite similar and lack strong defenses. However, I heard recently that the small apartments in Zone C seem to have been completed." Small apartments. Ji Qinghan raised an eyebrow, surprised that such places existed in the school that he didn't know about. Han Jingjing nodded, pondering as she explained, "Yes, the school built them to increase revenue. They're standalone 2-story apartments, but the rooms are not very large, probably around 100 square meters each. 100 square meters isn't very big. Of course, for wealthy students, it's not big at all, and the rent is quite expensive," Han Jingjing clarified. Ji Qinghan nodded. If that was the case, it should indeed be safer than other locations. "What's the exact location?" "It's right across from the cafeteria in Zone C. There's a row of special buildings there. You'll see when you go, but..." Seeing her expression, Ji Qinghan curiously asked, "But what?" "The security there checks identities, so you likely can't get in without someone to accompany you." Upon hearing this, Ji Qinghan suddenly laughed. This teacher was so adorably naive. "Teacher, I used to think, big breasts, no brains was just a joke," he said with a shake of his head, walking over to the window while Han Jingjing looked on in embarrassment and anger. "Look outside at the world now, it's not what it used to be." Han Jingjing looked out the window and saw zombies aimlessly wandering below, many of them large and muscular. The sight was far more shocking than what she had seen from the 8th floor. Chapter 20, The Furious Li Qingshan. At that moment, the conversation between the 2 startled Tian Tian and Dao Yu, who looked at them in confusion. Ji Qinghan leaned closer to Han Jingjing's ear and whispered, "Teacher, I hope you won't tell anyone about our conversation. You're a smart person." Han Jingjing shivered, sensing a strong threat in Ji Qinghan's voice. She glanced at the drowsy Tian Tian and Dao Yu and quietly asked, "Are you hiding from someone?" "That's confidential, but I hope you won't make the wrong choice," Ji Qinghan replied. He felt that if he encountered Li Qingshan now, he still had a chance to defeat him. Although the other side might have reinforcements, his skeletons were not weak either. However, he wasn't sure of the enemy's current strength. If those downstairs had joined forces with Li Qingshan, it would be a trap. Rather than risk it now, it was better to wait, gather strength, and settle the score later. He held a grudge. Li Qingshan had to die, and it couldn't be too easy for him. "Okay, I won't say anything. It doesn't matter if you do. I might face some trouble, but you would have much worse problems, teacher." Ji Qinghan's words made Han Jingjing tremble again, and she quickly looked away. Just then, Tian Tian got up from the table, rubbed her shoulders, and asked, "What were you 2 whispering about? Aren't you just waiting to die upstairs?" She looked down on the group upstairs, speaking without hesitation. Han Jingjing's face turned pale as she retorted, "We just have too many injured and want to avoid unnecessary sacrifices. Now that we've dealt with the zombies, you can go downstairs." Tian Tian remained her rebellious self, which amused Ji Qinghan. He stopped the 2 seemingly hostile ladies and said, "You can't leave yet. You can go at noon as my reward for helping you deal with the zombies." Why? Han Jingjing was puzzled. She had come here because she found no zombies and wanted to ask why. There's no point in asking so much. We used the healing scrolls on them yesterday, they'll hold up. Ji Yu Qinghan waved his hand, directly telling Han Jingjing, you should go upstairs. I'll naturally let you leave by noon. Han Jingjing opened her mouth but sighed, turning back after considering how Ji Yu Qinghan had handled so many zombies. She was hungry and wanted to go out for food, the injured needed medical help too. However, she understood that the world was no longer the peaceful place it once was. Once Han Jingjing's footsteps faded, Tian Tian looked at Ji Yu Qinghan. Are you leaving? Just today at noon. Yeah, I hope you can reunite with your parents soon. Ji Yu Qinghan smiled, but he noticed Tian Tian pouting. Dao Yu also came over, having roughly understood why Ji Yu Qinghan hadn't gone downstairs yesterday. He looked at Ji Yu Qinghan seriously and said, I might act with the main group later, but don't worry, we won't betray you. I know, Ji Yu Qinghan replied with a smile. These two could choose to break out with him, indicating they understood his strength and general character. As long as they weren't fools, they wouldn't disclose information to Li Qingshan. This time, he sent all 7 skeletons downstairs to hunt the roaming zombies. Help me out and take care of the burly zombies around here. Try to arm my skeletons before noon. Are you not afraid they'll notice downstairs? It's fine, the windows on the first and second floors of this row of teaching buildings face only 3 sides. They can't see us from here. Tian Tian took a deep breath, channeling all her feelings of impending separation into firepower against the zombies below. Even Dao Yu helped equip Ji Yu Qinghan's skeletons with shields to clear the zombies more quickly. During this process, Ji Yu Qinghan's 5th soul fire began to glow noticeably, slowly brightening. On the 2nd floor, Liang Chao stuffed a piece of bread into his mouth and looked at the ceiling, asking, Old Li, why is it so quiet upstairs? Have all the zombies been killed? Li Qingshan rubbed his temples. Last night, the zombies had almost broken through their defenses, nearly causing a serious incident. However, under his leadership, the professionals managed to hold the entrance on the 1st floor. They had hardly slept at all. I don't know. I'll wait until I wake up after a nap. He lay on the table, his eyes revealing ambition mixed with fatigue. All the hard work from yesterday hadn't been in vain. Today, the professionals respected him much more. He could already imagine himself as the leader of this group of students, thriving in this apocalyptic world. Suddenly, Liang Chao's soft exclamation pulled him from his daydream. Old Li, don't you think there are a lot fewer zombies since this morning? Li Qingshan opened his eyes wide. Yes, the zombies last night had nearly broken through the barricades. But starting this morning, the zombies seemed less aggressive. No, it wasn't just that they weren't attacking, their numbers had significantly decreased. He got up from the table, deep in thought as he looked outside. Indeed, the zombies outside were much sparser, and some were even running toward the back of the building. Is someone killing zombies behind the building? He immediately thought of this possibility but didn't realize it was Ji Yu Qinghan who was doing the killing. Li Qingshan never imagined that he had unknowingly guarded the door for Ji Yu Qinghan all night. Moreover, Ji Yu Qinghan was using the unique layout of this teaching building to kill zombies right under his nose. Li Qingshan frowned, it seemed there were more experts in the surrounding teaching buildings. What time is it? Being a combat professional, he had previously left his phone with Liang Chao. Liang Chao took out his phone, turned on the screen, and said, it's a little past 10:30. Why? I'm not sleeping anymore. Others are leveling up. One day without sleep won't kill anyone. He stood up and pulled Liang Chao toward the stairs. Take down the dirt wall, let's see how the survivors upstairs are doing. He had also noticed that the zombies upstairs had been quiet for a long time. However, he hadn't had the chance to address it while dealing with the zombies. Liang Chao replied, okay, as he hadn't used much energy during the battle yesterday, just patching up the defenses at the entrance. The two of them, along with a few exhausted combat professionals, reached the stairs, ready to remove the dirt wall and check the 3rd floor. These few were there to prevent any dangers that might arise once they opened it. Liang Chao raised his hand, and a yellowish glow appeared in his palm. Then, the thick dirt wall melted away as if it were dissolving, scattering down to the floor. When they saw the scene beyond the dirt wall, they were all stunned. The corridor on the third floor was now devoid of the dense mass of zombies that had been there before. In their place were a group of injured individuals being supported down from the higher floors. He was taken aback and asked a quiet boy who was looking at them, "Did you kill all the zombies on this floor?" "Yeah, or else what?" A girl with long legs took over the conversation, her tone filled with hostility. "Relying on you guys." Li Qingshan looked at this girl, his eyes widening in surprise. She threw a purple arcane orb that smashed the remaining dirt wall to pieces. "Just relying on us, what's wrong?" "Oh, right, there's also a guy named Jiyu Qinghan." Hearing that name, Li Qingshan's murderous intent surged. "Jiyu Qinghan? Where is he?" Black energy slowly emerged from Li Qingshan's hand, as if he might erupt at any moment. Tian Tian pointed at the window, saying, "He just ran out the window while we were calling people down from upstairs." Li Qingshan immediately climbed to the third floor, looking out from the classroom window that Tian Tian pointed to. He saw that the zombies in this direction seemed to be chasing something but didn't see any people. His teeth ground together, and after a few seconds of restraint, he couldn't help but roar in anger. "Damn!